and welcome back to my channel and to a new video. I hope you're well, having a lovely day. If you're new here, my name is Nicola, I make lifestyle videos, and today I've got like a mini catch up, but mainly this video is like a favourites of like my favourite podcasts, TV and books. So I've not got any physical objects to show you, but I thought I would share, yeah, my favourite TV and film, podcasts and books. But first of all, I just wanted to say apologies for missing an upload again last week. I feel like, well, if you watched my first video of the year, I think it was my first video of the year, I said in my goals and sort of resolutions, I guess, for this year, that I wanted to say no to more things. And that didn't mean like opportunities as such, but just cut back on a few things that were making busy times quite overwhelming. And unfortunately this channel probably has taken the brunt of that. I think I've missed 3 uploads so far this year, and that may not seem a lot seeing as we're in April. However, sorry if you can hear that, I've got the window open here and something loud's just happened outside. But I think in previous years, in sort of 4 years of doing this channel, I only miss 1 or 2 a year. So 3 within 4 months is quite a lot for me. However, I find this probably the easiest thing to say no to. If there's a lot going on, if I'm super busy, if the kids are busy, if we're doing stuff, if I'm not feeling 100% or not feeling myself, then getting the camera out isn't necessarily the top of my list of things to want to do. And so it's very easy to go, do you know what, I won't film anything. And usually, actually, I don't make that decision until the day. Because I'll always go, well, I won't do that, I'll just film something on Wednesday, I'll just film something on Monday, I'll film something on Tuesday, and then it gets to Wednesday morning and work's busy and I don't have time to film anything, and then it's too late. The best thing is when I can get 2 videos filmed over a weekend, and then I know I've got 2 weeks worth of footage, and then I can sort of, there's time to then keep that momentum going. But it's been very rare that I've had that opportunity this year. You know, and I don't want to go out how busy we are, because I read some of my Instagram posts actually. I went back and looked, and everyone was like, oh, it's so busy, oh, it's so busy. And yeah, we all have busy lives, it's not just me. However, it has been busy. And I actually wasn't too well last week, so that didn't help. And anyway, today is Wednesday, so it is the day that you are watching this. It is currently the morning, but I'm on annual leave for, well, today is my last day of annual leave. I'm back at work tomorrow for 1 day, and then it's the Easter bank holiday weekend. So actually I have an opportunity to sit and film something. I do have a lot more to do today. This house is an absolute tip. It's so messy and dirty, and in the back of my mind I'm thinking I should probably film that. I should probably film me cleaning, but it just takes twice as long when you have to film it. And I don't want to spend my entire day cleaning the house, so I'm not going to film it today. I'm just going to clean. I might put some bits on Instagram, I don't know. But yeah, this house needs cleaning, and the problem is that when life is busy and I do these videos and I do other stuff, and we have obviously other businesses that we do, the house is the thing that probably gets left. And because I was feeling poorly last week, I didn't really have the energy to get up and clean, and Andrew and the kids did their best to sort of keep it tidy-ish, but it's not. This is an illusion. It does not look like this anywhere else in the house. So yeah, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for those. I mean, some of you wouldn't give a damn, but some of you are so lovely and watch my videos every week and always comment, and I really, really do appreciate that. So for those people, not specifically, particularly, I just wanted to say sorry I missed another upload, and I'll try not to miss any more, but chances are I probably will. Anyway, this video actually isn't like a off the cuff, oh, I'll have a chat type video, which I have filmed before when I've had nothing else prepared. I actually did want to film this, and I actually wanted to film it last week, but life got in the way and I didn't. So yeah, anything else I've got to catch you up on quickly before I start? No, we've just been doing dance, really. That's all we've been doing. Phoebe, we had Northampton Dance Festival last week, which was lovely because it's so local. It's literally 2 minutes up the road. So I actually some days just drop Phoebe off there on days when she wasn't dancing, and she was able to just stay there with her friends and support her friends, and it was really lovely. And I was able to spend a day there. I took an extra day off last week, which is why I'm working tomorrow. I switched that day to last week for a day when she was dancing, so I could be there to, you know, help her and get ready and watch her. So yeah, it was really, really lovely. And then this weekend just gone, and yesterday she was at another dance festival in Leicester, and actually I had a real those of you who have older children will probably appreciate the feeling I had yesterday. So she'd moved up just for this particular festival. She will be moving up an age group in September, but for this festival specifically, she was in the next age group up, basically. So she's 11, she was with dancers who were 12 and some who were probably very nearly 13, so all less than 2 years older than her, but some almost exactly 2 years older than her. And so it's strange because she's been at the top of her age group for a while, so one of the tallest ones in her sections, to going to be one of the smaller ones. And it was lovely, her being little again and looking at, but some of the girls were like, they look 35. I mean, obviously they're made up because they're on stage and they're dancing, but even so, their physique, and they were women. And I was like, oh, this is like, soon, this is going to be my daughter soon, and I'm not ready for that yet. I want her to still be little and my baby. So I had that little like gut-wrenching moment when I was watching her dance, and watching the others dance, thinking in a year's time, 2 years time, this will be her and she's going to be one of the big ones. And anyway, so yeah, that's been our last couple of weeks. So just dance, 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 and then it's Easter weekend this weekend. Oh no, my battery's flashing. That's no good. Bear with, I will change the battery and I'll be back in 2 secs. Okay, back. I don't know how long this battery is going to last because I don't know how much it's charged. That's what happens when you don't film videos regularly. Right, anyway, that's what we've been up to. Easter weekend this weekend. We're going to see some family and have the infamous Clarke Easter egg hunt, which is very, very detailed. That's Andrew's biggest job of the year, is to do the Easter egg hunt for the kids, and they love it. I mean, Archie prefers Easter to Christmas purely because of that. So yeah, it's quite a lot of pressure for him to pull that one off. So yeah, that's what will be happening this weekend. I hope you all have some nice things planned, or if not, you've just got a nice relaxing weekend ahead. So many people are on holiday at the moment. I'm like, oh, I want to go away. We're currently in the throes of thinking about that, but we might have to scale back our plans a little bit. Life is very expensive at the moment, is it not? So yeah, the places we wanted to go to, I think maybe we might have to leave that for another year, but we will do something. We're definitely going to go somewhere. Got to do something. Anyway, right, moving on. So when I did a favourites video a little while ago, and I'd said that I was going to talk about podcasts and I didn't. So and I said I will probably make another video about it. So that's what I'm going to do today. Talk about podcasts, film, TV and books. I've got it all actually on my phone. I'm prepared for once. That doesn't happen very often. I had a little think about things that I wanted to recommend. I don't know whether everybody listens to podcasts, but it is definitely a favourite thing of mine to do, especially on long car journeys when I'm on my own, because in fact, all 3 of the podcasts I listen to are not child friendly. But I mainly listen to podcasts when I'm dog walking. It just breaks up the day a little bit. It means I'm very much a social type of person. So if I'm not on my computer or working, then I tend to be on my phone or doing something. So when I'm on a dog walk, I'm not a big fan of just walking and not having anything else going on. So I like to have a podcast to listen to, or music, but I'm not a massive listener of music, so yeah, podcasts are much better for me. So there are 3 really that I listen to on a regular basis. Like, I look forward to them each week. Well, 2 actually, no, that's not true. There's 2 that I look forward to each week, and when I'm not listening to those, I'm listening to the other one, which I'm sort of catching up on, because I've just found it and I enjoy it. And anyway, so the first one is, I mean, to be honest, most of you probably know these podcasts, but I'm going to share them anyway. So the first one is Chris and Rosie Ramsey's podcast, which is Shagged, Married, Annoyed. I've been listening to that since the beginning. I used to love watching Rosie on Instagram. I still love her, but she doesn't post on Instagram anywhere near as much or do the funny stuff that she used to do really at all anymore, which is sad. But I know she's got newish baby, and she's busy. So and I know they've got a TV program that they're going to be launching soon. But yeah, if you don't know, then Chris Ramsey obviously is a comedian. I went to his live show actually in October last year, and his wife Rosie, and they have a podcast together where they do sort of regular what's the word? Can't think of the word. Like themes. So regular like things within the podcast. They do like what's your beef, where they each share something that they're annoyed about with the other one. They do questions from the public, so people send in emails. It's very rude, filthy sometimes, but hilarious, and I love listening to it, and I really look forward to it. So they upload their podcast every Friday, and if you like sort of fun humour, silliness, but within a couple, so they regularly just, you know, call each other out on things that annoy them, and yeah, and then the emails from the public are mental, some of them so funny. So yeah, I just love listening to that, and it just takes me away from real life, and yeah, it's funny. So yeah, that's my first recommendation. My second one is Parenting Hell, which used to be Lockdown Parenting Hell, but it's now just called Parenting Hell because we're not on lockdown anymore, and that is with Rob Beckett and Josh Widdicombe, both comedians that I love. You will see there is a theme. This is all comedians. I mean, even like TV I prefer, although actually I don't think any of the TV shows I'm going to talk about are comedies, but I do love to just let go and be able to laugh out loud at stuff, and these podcasts are proper laugh out loud ones. So the Josh Widdicombe and Rob Beckett started the Parenting Hell podcast in lockdown, something to do, I think, and to share the stresses of parenting during lockdown. They both have quite small children, however, you know, that's irrelevant because, you know, my children are older, but I still remember what it was like when they were young, and also it's just funny that they do 2 podcasts a week, so one on a Tuesday, one on a Friday. Usually the Tuesday is just them sharing what they've done in the week, which is always hilarious. And then, sorry, this light's gone a bit weird. And then I don't think that's any better, is it? It's gone even dark now. And then the Friday one, they usually talk to a celebrity parent about their experiences of parenting. Sometimes they talk a bit more around other stuff in their life as well, and their jobs and things like that, but the essence is about parenting and the funny stories that parenting brings. And they've also touched on some more hard-hitting topics like baby loss and things like that, or IVF and things like that, but overall it is funny. And actually, if you haven't listened to it, it's really nice, well, not nice, but it's really good listening to it from the beginning in the old ones where they're going through lockdowns and they're talking about, and it's so funny when it's coming up to, you know, like Christmas 2021, where we thought, you know, we were going to be able to see our families and then we couldn't, and they're saying, oh, we're doing this, and I'm sitting there going, no you're not, because like, we know what's going to happen next, and we knew that we went back, I know that we went back into lockdown again, and anyway, but they're obviously, because we're not in lockdown anymore, they're still doing it, and I just love it. Some of it's so funny, and I appreciate if comedy's not your thing, or if you don't like those specific comedians, it may not be for you. I keep telling Andrew, my other half, that he should listen to these podcasts because he drives like thousands of miles a week in his van, and he's always wanting things to listen to, but he likes like true crime podcasts, and he listens to Joe Rogan and people like that, which is totally not me at all. I mean, I'm not interested in those sorts of podcasts. I love true crime TV, but not a podcast. It just wouldn't interest me. I want to be able to laugh and enjoy it. And I keep telling him to watch them, but he won't. He's like, no, I don't really like that sort of thing. So I appreciate it's not for everybody. But I do love both of those podcasts. And then the third one is one that I've just recently found. And actually this is, so I'm now listening to episodes from about a year ago because it's taking only a while to catch up, but quite long episodes as well. And it's the Wolf and Owl podcast, which is with Ramesh Ranganathan and Tom Davis, another 2 comedians who I love. I don't love this one as much as the others. Like, I can't listen to it for hours and hours on end, but it's quite good because it fills the gap. So I tend to listen to Parenting Hell as soon as it comes out on a Tuesday and a Friday, and the same with Shag Married Annoyed. and then once I've listened to them, I've got to wait like a few days before I get another one. And so I've been listening to The Wolf and Owl in between. The only thing I'm not a massive fan of is the humour between them, which is great. I enjoy that, but sometimes it's a bit bickery. And that sometimes grates a little, but I mean, it's supposed to be funny, and it is funny. And I think actually as I'm getting through the episodes, it's getting better. I think to start off with, it was a little bit forced, some of the humour, and actually now as I'm getting on, I feel like it's much, much better. So yeah, I'm just enjoying that one as well. So that's the Wolf and Owl podcast with Ramesh Ranganathan and Tom Davis, the Parenting Hell with Josh Whittaker and Rob Beckett, and then Shag Married Annoyed with Rosie and Chris Ramsey. So yeah, those are 3 podcasts I would recommend. I would love it if you know of any others. I have tried listening to what's the one? It's another top one. It's the one with James A. Caster. It's about food. Anyway, I've tried listening to that one. Didn't get on with that at all. What else have I tried? I've tried a few others. But yeah, I just couldn't get on with them. Whereas these 3, I clicked with them almost straight away. So that's what I need, I think, from a podcast. I mean, The Wolf and Owl, I did give it a little bit more time, but I still found it funny, but it took a bit more time for me to warm to it. Whereas the others, I just wanted to listen to more and more as soon as I started listening to the first one. So I think with a podcast, I needed to click almost straight away. Like, if I don't like the first episode, I'm not going to listen to another one. So yeah, if you've got any other recommendations, please leave them below for me and for everybody else who's watching this video. So books, right. I read a very specific type of book. Generally, it has a pretty cover, and it's trash. It's not great. If I I don't know whether I can show you. Let me look at my Kindle library on my phone. I'll show you. Oh, library, there we go. I mean, there is a couple of books that are Phoebe's on there. Can you, there we go. Look, I mean, that one's Phoebe's, but look at these. They're all like chick lit. They're all the same. These are all the books I read. So, so yeah, I'm a very specific type of book, but I didn't want to share all of those. Like, I mean, for example, we've got ones here called Mince Pies and Mistletoe at the Christmas Market, Underneath the Christmas Tree, The Christmas Escape, Christmas books at Christmas time, and then summertime is like the beach cafe and all that sort of stuff. I love that. I can lose myself in a book for hours when it's like that. It's just easy reading, fun characters, a bit of comedy, a bit of romance. Perfect as far as I'm concerned. However, there are a few books that I have read that are a little bit more than that. They are still what would I suppose would be considered chick lit, but they're perhaps a little bit deeper than Mistletoe at the Christmas Market or whatever. So I thought I would share the last 3 really good books that I've read that I thought were good, like really good, and then the authors that I consider all right, really good books like this, but better than Christmas markets. So the one I'm reading at the moment is called Confessions of a 40-something Up, and it's by, who's it by? Alexandra Potter, I think. Yeah, and it is, I think it's, in fact, what would be good if I read the blurb, wouldn't it? Let's do that, because okay, this is the bit of blurb that's on Amazon. It says, a novel for any woman who wonders how the hell she got here and why life isn't quite how she imagined it was going to be, and who is desperately trying to figure it all out when everyone around them is making gluten-free brownies. Meet Nell. Her life is a mess. In a world of perfect Instagram lives, she feels like a up. But when she starts a secret podcast and forms an unlikely friendship with Cricket, an 80-something widow, things begin to change, because Nell is determined this time next year things will be very different. But first she has a confession. And it is so good. I'm reading it at the moment. I'm about 70% of the way through, so I'm coming towards the end. But yeah, it's so relatable, because no matter who you are in life, I think there's so few of us that actually at my age or in your 40s are where you thought you would be. I'm 100% not where I thought I would be. Not that that's a bad thing, I'm happy where I am, but the job I'm doing isn't what I thought I would be doing. Never would I thought I'd be doing YouTube, and you know, I think generally, you know, we plan our lives when we're younger and think where we will be, and if you don't end up being there, we feel like we are a failure if we're not where we thought we would be. And actually that's not the truth. You know, just because your life isn't insta-perfect doesn't mean that you're a failure. And generally, and I think most people on Instagram would admit that the things that they show aren't real life. I mean, I've already said to you, this is not real life. Like the piles of clothes that are just here, my dressing table is covered in crap. That's real life. So, but you know, we shouldn't feel like we're a failure because life isn't like this. It's actually like the view that I can see there. Yeah, it's quite poignant. It's really good if you're wanting something quite real to read, but also quite heartwarming. The relationship that she has with this older lady is lovely, and yeah, there's so many lovely things in the book and funny moments as well. And this particular woman has left a relationship and then she starts dating again, and that's all very funny. So yeah, I 100% recommend that book. So it's The Confessions of a 40-something up. Can't say that word because I'll get demonetized. You know, and I want my videos to make a little bit of money. It's by Alexandra Potter. So that's my first recommendation. Right, second one is The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary. Beth O'Leary is probably one of my favourite authors. I've also read The Flat Share, and I know she's got another one coming out called I saw it this morning. What's it called? Look, you see, I should be more prepared. Maybe I am. Beth O'Leary, there it is. The No Show, it's called. But The Road Trip is basically about a group of friends. I think there's a couple, there's a guy and a girl in basically there's a group of friends that go on a drive to a wedding in Scotland, and in a tiny little Mini, I think, and two of the people were in a relationship and no longer are. So there's an odd dynamic there. There's a bit of a chap that nobody really knows or why he's there, and yeah, it's a tale of the relationships between the people, and also the disasters that happen en route, and whether or not they're going to ever get to the wedding. It would make a really good film, I think. It's a bit like 4 Weddings and a Funeral type thing, but yeah, really, really good. And I thoroughly recommend that. The Flat Share, again, it's another really good book if you've not read it. That's about a girl who basically has a flat share with a guy, but he works nights and she works days, so they share one room, and they have to change sheets at the end of the day, and yeah, really odd, right? So rather than sharing a flat, they're sharing a room, and he's there at some point and she's there, and yeah, so yeah, both really, really good books, and I'm looking forward to reading the new one as well. And then the third recommendation I had was called The Saturday Morning Park Run, and that's by Jules Wake, and actually that's quite similar in some respects to the Confessions book that I mentioned before, purely because there is this relationship between this girl and an older person, and anyway, it's basically about they meet. There's a little trio that meet in the park just by accident, going for runs to try and improve their mental health and try and, you know, blow away the cobwebs on a regular basis, and they all sort of meet up in a strange scenario and then decide to set up a park run at this particular park, like the actual official park run, and it's the story of their relationships together and how they get people to come to the park run and how successful it is and things like that. So I mean, I'm not into running, it's not really about running, it's about everything else that goes with it, but again, really, really good book. I have read a few other Jules Wake books as well, and I would thoroughly recommend all of them. So that's 3. Confessions, The Road Trip, and The Saturday Morning Park Run are 3 of my favourites that I've read in the last 6 months. But I like anything by Lindsay Kelk, and I think I've mentioned her books in my favourites before, and I also like anything by Paige Toon. She's amazing. I used to read a lot of Marion Keyes, haven't read her books for ages, and there's loads that I need to catch up on. I know she's got a new one out at the moment. And I also love Sophie Kinsella, and I read nearly all of her books. So so there's lots of authors there if you are into sort of chick lit in a way, but actually with a little bit more depth, then I would thoroughly recommend all of those. Right, TV. It's quite funny. I mean, Andrew not every day, most days will say, oh, shall we watch something new as a couple this evening? It's like his thing that he says. It's not, we don't watch things as a couple, but it's like a funny thing, like, oh, I'm gonna find something new that we can watch. And 9 times out of 10 it ends up being something that he wants to watch and I do not want to watch. And actually that's always better. However, I'd say 9 times out of 10 we start watching it, I'm not really interested, he's watching it, I get into it, and then he gets bored of it and doesn't want to watch it anymore. And I'm then really into it and I want to carry on watching it, but I don't often get the opportunity to watch something on my own, so I end up not finishing it because he didn't want to watch it anymore. So that sums up our relationship probably in one sentence. However, there are a few things that, oh, I've got a message. There are a few things that that we have watched recently, or that I have watched, that I have loved. 3 of these are things that we're watching together. 1 we started watching, he dropped off, but I did actually finish it. So the first thing is Slow Horses, which I believe is on Apple TV. If you don't get Apple TV, you can get like a free trial, I think. Or if you have if you buy an Apple product, you get like 3 months free or 6 months free, and I think that's why we've got it at the moment. It is like espionage, like spy type thing. I do love a good drama, but like a good police drama, I think. I like all sorts of different TV, but I like something a bit gritty, and this is definitely gritty. So it's about MI5, but it's about like a side shoot of MI5 for all the rejects, the people that have done things wrong, and they get put into this place called Slough House, which and they just have to do the dregs jobs sort of thing, and it's about their relationship. And the chap that runs it is a filthy, horrible, dirty chap. It's actually a book, and I should know this because I should have prepared better. However, I'm going to look it up now because I feel like I ought to give you the full. So the series is based on a book called Slow Horses by Mick Herron, and then I'm just going to give you the bit of blurb. So it's got Gary Oldman in it, it's got Kristen Scott Thomas in it, Jack Lowden, who has done mostly, I think, theatre, but some other TV, and is brilliant in his role as River. I'm trying to remember the name. So basically it's Jackson Lamb heads up a team of British intelligence agents who serve in the dumping ground department of MI5 Slough House due to their career-ending mistakes. It is quite amusing at times, but also quite hard-hitting. It is described as a thriller. And yeah, I loved it. So I think we're like 3 episodes in. It's only on once a week, which is, I mean, in a way it's quite good because you look forward to the next one, but also it's like, oh, I'm so used to like being able to binge watch something and just watch it all one after the other. When you actually have to wait for the next episode, it's a pain. But love it, love it, love it. Can't recommend it enough if you like that sort of thing. Second thing is Pieces of Her, which I think was on Netflix. Yes, it was on Netflix, which had Toni Collette in it, and that was about a woman and her daughter within a witness protection program. That again was another thriller, really, really good, really gripping. I think there were 8 episodes, and I feel like it's set up for another season, perhaps. But yeah, really, really good. Andrew didn't like it at all, but I loved it, absolutely loved it. So thoroughly recommend that. That's Pieces of Her, that was on Netflix. And then we watched Reacher, which is the TV series of the Jack Reacher books. I believe they made a film of it with Tom Cruise in it, which was kind of unrealistic because Jack Reacher is supposed to be like this 6'4", beefy guy. Yeah, it's a thriller. It's about a guy who was in the services, in the forces, and he goes off and he basically tries to find who killed his brother. Yeah, the guy playing Reacher is amazing. I mean, he's huge and yes, a very beautiful man. So if you want to watch something for that, then I would thoroughly recommend it. But without that, the story is great too, and it's again very gripping, full of action, adventure, funny moments, but also lots of hard-hitting stuff too. Just really, really good. A bit gory in places. Lots of blood and guts and shooting and things like that, but I loved it, loved it, and cannot wait for the next one. I'm sure there will be another one, so I'm looking forward to that. And then last but not least, we actually just watched this last night, and this is another example of one that Andrew had on and I really wasn't interested, and within about 10 minutes my phone was down and I was watching it. I was completely gripped, and it is a film. It's like a documentary film on Netflix called Return to Space, and it's about Elon Musk and the SpaceX program, and their mission to get people back to the moon and into space and to the International Space Station, and also to make rockets fully reusable, which up until now they never have been. So it has been super expensive to send people into space, because every time they send somebody there in a rocket, the rocket can't be used again, whereas SpaceX has invented rockets that are reusable, so it obviously keeps the costs down, and means that they can continue the space program, which obviously NASA stopped a fair few years ago. And I just found it gripping. It's so interesting, and I had so many questions, like, how do they do that? Why are they doing that? And how is that possible? And so many questions I had afterwards that I want to find out more information about. I've never really been into space. When we went to Orlando last, Andrew and the boys went to the Kennedy Space Center. Phoebe was a bit poorly, and so I was like, I'm really not that bothered. I think I'll stay at home. And now I wish I'd gone, because I want to go and see more stuff about space. But yeah, you know, the beginning of the story with, you know, the Elon Musk, obviously, I mean, people have their different opinions about him as a person or about his business entities or enterprises or whatever, but at the end of the day, he's just a very passionate man about the things that he does, and he wants to improve things. You know, obviously the electric cars, he makes the Tesla, and all the other stuff, but he just I just found him very passionate to listen to. But also, you know, when he started SpaceX, so many people, because it's a commercial enterprise as opposed to a government funded thing, which NASA has always been previously, you know, people were so against it. And, you know, I think it was Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin had said, you know, it was a complete disaster and shouldn't be happening, and they interviewed Elon Musk about that, and he said, and he was crying, you know, and saying, these are my heroes, and I wish they'd just come and see what we're doing, because then they may understand that, you know, we're not just doing this for money. You know, yes, it's a financial enterprise, but we're doing this for passion and because we want to get back into space. So yeah, I mean, you can tell I'm excited by it, because I loved it. And it prompted a huge discussion with Andrew and myself, because I know, you know, there's a lot of people who doubt whether or not the pictures from the moon landing back in 1969 were true, and this wasn't discussed in the programme. But, you know, there's someone saying that, well, they were faked, but we did put someone on the moon, but they were faked. But I hadn't realised that we hadn't been back to the moon since 1972. So in my lifetime, nobody has been on the moon. And I didn't even realise that. Like, people have been to space, but not to the moon. And they're saying that there's more technology in a Tesla car key than there was on the rockets that went to the moon. And basically, we've forgotten how to do it. I was like, really? We've forgotten how to go to the moon? It just made me question whether anyone ever went there, and I'm sure they did. I don't want to start that debate, but it does make you question, like, well, how did it happen then? You know, if they're currently trying to work out how to get to the moon, how come we did it in 1969, but we can't do it now? I think cost is a lot to do with it. However, I think that the money and is a lot more to do with it than anything else. But yeah, it certainly makes you question things, and it's made me want to research more stuff. So yeah, so that is Return to Space on Netflix. even if you're not into space and all that sort of stuff, I thoroughly recommend it. Give it 10 minutes and you'll be hooked, I guarantee it. But it's from this year, so it's a really up-to-date program. So yeah, so Slow Horses, Pieces of Her, Reacher and Return to Space are my top recommendations for TV. So there you go. This video was a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I've yabbered on for a good half hour, I think, so I will leave you now. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any recommendations for podcasts, books, TV, please leave them down below, because we all always need things to do, and especially as life is now so much more expensive, I think staying in is the new going out, isn't it? So yeah, leave your recommendations down below, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.